Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense, where we make some sense out of the nonsense. We're in the book of Esther. We're in chapter 3. We're just pulling out some bullet points. I know it's taken, a week and a half or so you might be thinking you're pulling out things, Andy, is a lot of work, right? I'm going to do a whole chapter. You ready? In chapter 3, we get introduced to the bad guy. Again, God is always up to something. God always has a plan, usually hidden in nature. Not because he wants to hide stuff from us, because it's hidden from the enemy. And you and I, we talk too much, right? If God revealed all the things that he had for you, we would talk too much. We never shut up, right? We let people hear the plan that God has when they might not need to hear it, or it might be actually detrimental. We actually telegraph everything we're going to do to the enemy on a regular basis. Think of how much time you spend talking about the plans at church. We have meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting telling the enemy exactly what we're going to do. Do you know what? God loves spontaneity because the enemy doesn't know everything. He isn't everywhere. So some of the best meetings I've ever had have been impromptu meetings in a place where there's no enemy. Right? The enemy has no idea what you're doing. It takes him a while to get resources there, to figure out what's going on. And by that time, you've accomplished something. Right? It's why in broken moments, they work with people, because people are at a point where they're not thinking everything through and they're not talking everything through. The enemy has no idea what's going to happen. But the enemy, right, has this plan. He's always trying to destroy that which is God. There's no difference in the book of Esther. He wants to destroy God's people. Always, it was with the concept of Jesus. I want to totally destroy the seed, right, where Jesus can come through. And so Haman, the enemy, is used by the enemy, right, to come up with a master plan that is going to allow people to just go and kill as many Jewish people as they want on a certain day and take everything that's theirs. It's a master plan of the enemy. He wants to do the same thing for your life. He is going to stir up people against you. He is going to stir up people who would want to destroy you. Right? Sometimes those people, like the Pharisees and the Sadducees who put Jesus to death, they're going to be God in nature, right? But they're not godly. They're not asking God about anything, right? They may think they're doing God a great service by getting rid of you, kicking you out, or taking you down. But that's not what's happening. Right? The king here was told that these people are terrible, rotten, awful people and they need to be destroyed. Right? So he went with it. He didn't do any research. Isn't it funny? The entire time this is playing out, the trump card is right there. Right? It's right there, ready to go. Esther is sitting right there. God already has his plan in full gear, but nobody around is going to know it. And the enemy isn't going to have a clue about how God is going to do this, or he would never have done it. Right? This is what people don't understand. The enemy isn't out to just destroy himself, work against himself. He's not going to do things that he knows are absolutely not going to work. He thinks these things are going to work in your life. He's betting that this event is going to cause you to do this, or say this, or be this. This is what the enemy does. He hates you. But that hatred also gets him to be a little irrational, and he relies way, way, way too much on people to carry out his plan. Now listen, we do a great job of carrying out the plan of the enemy. All of us do. We're constantly saying words we shouldn't say, thinking what we shouldn't think, doing what we shouldn't do. Right? Sometimes, though, God is just simply going to not only reveal the plan of the enemy, right, but he's also going to allow the enemy to be stirred up. He's going to let things happen in your life, right? He's going to let things happen that are going to, right, have you questioning, have you doubting, have you wondering what's going on. This whole plan that Haman comes up with gets Mordecai in a terrible spot. He's not thinking that Esther's in the right place at the right time to save them until the very end, right? But Mordecai reacts to this whole thing. Everybody is reacting to God allowing the enemy to look like he's going to win, right? So chew on this tonight, right? Are there areas where it looks like the enemy's going to win? He's just going to win? Are there areas where it looks like the enemy just has the ability to totally destroy, totally devastate you? Right? It's craziness, right? That this would happen. It's craziness that God would do this. God would never do these kind of things. Yet frequently, God does allow it to look like cancer's going to beat us, financial stuff is going to happen, this is going to happen, all these things are going to happen. Frequently, God allows that to happen. It looks bad, but it's not bad, right? It's not bad because God is still always in control. What's in your life that looks bad, looks awful, but you can, if you stop and take a look, you can be like, God's got a trump card out there somewhere. He's going to pull this all together. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that next time. Nightly Nonsense.